Hey, how's everybody doing today? My name is Jabbar Brown. Welcome to another episode of the Manhood Mentor Show. Super excited to have you guys here with me today. Man, I've been working on this project for some time now. Wanted to make sure we got all our talking points down and make sure that we got the messaging direct in correlation to what I know that men have been faced with and have been challenged with. So look, before we get into the show, I want to thank everybody for continuing to support us throughout all of these years of us stomping down on this Manhood Mentor movement. Y'all know we've been at it now for some time, and the messaging is still the same: male leadership and empowerment, because I truly believe that when the man is in proper alignment, now the man can properly align his family, his fortune, his future, right? It's a lot of distractions out here in the world. People are getting high on distractions, especially men, right? Which is in direct contradiction to what we're here to do. We're not here to be distracted. We're here to dominate. And y'all know we got all power and dominion bestowed upon the man, given to us by the Lord God Almighty. So let's jump into today's topic, right? We're talking about the harsh truths about being a man. Yes, sir. We're talking about the harsh truths about being a man. And y'all know that the world is very unforgiving for men, right? It's very unforgiving, right? People in general, by and large, expect us men to have things in order. No matter if we were taught how to get them in order, no matter if we have the proper resources to get things in order, no matter if we come from a good family, no matter if whatever the situation is, right? Whatever your backstory is, people don't really want to hear about your backstory. People want to know about your current story. What you doing today? What you gonna do tomorrow? What are you working on that's keeping you, your family, in a position to win out here and in a position to be productive? What the harsh truth is, most of us come from the same broken homes that we see today, right? Even though we're in a different season in the game and in a different season in life, we still came from that same broken home environment, whether it was a single parent household, whether it was drug or alcohol abuse in the home, whether it was growing up in the system, whether you grew up in foster care, whether you started breaking the law early and you ended up in the criminal justice system. Whatever your backdrop is nothing new under the sun, from being a youngster years ago to now being an adult, but having the youngsters growing up in that same circumstance, right? It's a repeated cycle. So those of us who have been blessed and fortunate enough to overcome those things in a certain aspect, it's our obligation to now identify where those challenges were and what the strategies were around overcoming those challenges, and now create a structure and a platform and a formula, right? A sequence of techniques and strategies and tactics that can be used for the next generation, and even men who are in your current generation but still in the same situation, to get them some insight that can help them make better decisions, man. So look, what we want to do is, we want to be direct, and we want to be clear that this is not motivation, right? This ain't a motivational show. This is a correctional show. Because if you're watching this right now, chances are that you already feel like it's something off in your life. You might have ambition, right? You might have your routine down pat, but you're still confused. You're still circling the drain, or circling that same rotation of poor decision making and bad behavior. And I'm gonna tell you, it ain't because you broken, you just misaligned, right? And being out of alignment can cause a number of things to be affected in your life. Think about your car, right? I'm taking us somewhere, family. Think about your car, okay? When you take your car in for oil change, they say, Mr. Brown, do you want us to go ahead and do a diagnostic on your car just to give you a overview as to what else could be potentially wrong? You're like, yeah, go ahead and do that for me. So when they doing this diagnostic on your car, and then they come back and talk to you, right? Sometimes when they come back and talk to you, they might tell you your alignment is off, right? And if they come back and say your alignment off, you say, all right, well, look, if I don't get the alignment fixed, can I still use the car? They say, yeah, you can still use the car, but your alignment being off is causing other things to be affected on your car. You say, well, like what, Jabbar? Well, Mr. Brown, because your alignment is off, your tires are wearing out unevenly, so you will need tires sooner than you would need. Your bearings and your bushings on your wheel hub is wearing out unnecessarily because your tires are being worn out because the alignment has things out of balance. You say, man, but what else is wrong? Well, it could be putting unnecessary wear and tear on your control arms, on your shocks, on your struts. Man, the alignment being out of order can cause a number of things on your car. It's uneven weight distribution, right? So you may unnecessarily lose control because your alignment is off. But you see how that one thing can cause multiple issues with your car. It's just like that in your life. When your behavior is out of alignment, sir, when your behavior is out of alignment, it can cause multiple things to go wrong in your life. This is all we're talking about, family, right? We're talking about behavioral alignment, not being broken, right? Because don't nobody want to hear about a man that's broken. And if you are broken, and if you think you're broken, I think you should get some help. I can't help you unbreak yourself, right? This ain't therapy, okay? This is correction. What is correction? Correction is being in the right headspace and in the right frequency to make the correct decision in that moment. Let's identify the 3 phases, right? Because we got a 3-phase system that we use to help men correct themselves. It's called identify, reflect, and correct. What do? We identify certain behavior characteristics that could be the cause of why you're having issues. Then we reflect on your natural responses in these circumstances that have you repeating these behaviors, and now it's time to course correct in real time. That's all we do, family, right? We identify, we reflect, and then we correct. A 3-phase process that we've discovered to help men realign themselves and recorrect your current behavioral instances, right? So the first thing on our list, right, when we're talking about the harsh truth about being a man, see, one of the main things that I understand us as men we go through when we out here in the real world, right, because decisions are not easy to make a lot of times, especially when you got the wrong information, especially when you got the wrong people around you, especially when you didn't have the right upbringing, okay, especially when you haven't learned self-control, especially when you may have adopted a drug or alcohol addiction, right? Especially when you may have adopted a gambling addiction, especially when you may have adopted a food addiction, especially when you may have adopted a social media addiction. I'm touching on everything, right? We're gonna touch on a number of things today, family, and all of this is to instill leadership and empowerment. Why? Because you gotta first lead yourself and empower yourself before you can learn to lead and empower somebody else. One of the harsh truths about being a man is this: you were never taught how to lead yourself. Most men are reacting, not leading, repeating behavior that keeps us sick. I'm gonna repeat that. Most men, not all, because nothing is generalized across the board, right? Most men are reacting, not leading. Reacting to what? You're reacting to other people. Oh man, well, so-and-so got on my nerves today, so what did you do in response to that? Man, I cussed them out. Okay, so you reacted to them getting on your nerves incorrectly. Oh man, well, my supervisor, man, got on my nerves today. They wanted to try to get me to stay late. I told them I had to leave today. Well, did you really have to leave today? I mean, nah, but I ain't want to stay. Why didn't you want to stay? Well, that was my prerogative. Okay, so what did you do? Man, I walked out. Okay, so you reacted incorrectly to what your supervisor had initiated towards you, right? See, we can't control other people, we can't control ourselves, but the way that you're reacting to things, if you're reacting incorrectly, that's not good leadership, right? Because you're not leading yourself in the correct perspective so that you don't harm yourself in the end. That's what correction is about, right? Correction is about choosing the correct choice in the moment. See, and that also gives you permission to still be in progress. So you don't have to be perfect, but you do need to be in progress of assuming the right perspective on making decisions, assuming the right behavioral routine on making decisions, right? Most men are reacting and not leading, repeating behavior that keeps us sick. If you walk out of that job and the supervisor asks you to stay late, that right there is gonna cause a sickness in your life, right? Because you might get suspended, you might get fired, and now you've caused a deficiency in your finances, right? Somebody got on your nerves at the DMV at the bank, you cussed them out. Now they don't want you to come back in the bank no more. Now the people in the bank don't want you around. Now they might have to call security on you. They might have to call the police on you. Why? Because you didn't handle that correctly and you used the wrong approach to resolving that instance. Out of alignment, right? And we know that some of these things are inherent to you because of the environment that you grew up in, right? We all got a story. Y'all know my story. Born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. Was raised by my mom. Both of my parents were married for about 13, 14 years. My whole family struggled with drugs and alcohol. Eventually, my parents got a divorce. When they got a divorce, that's when my struggle started out here breaking the law and getting into illegal activity. I felt vulnerable when my parents got a divorce. I didn't know who would protect our family at the time. I'm like 13 or 14. So now I'm realizing that I gotta get stronger. I gotta get more valuable. I gotta get more assertive and more active in the ways of becoming a man and learning how to be independent and learning how to be responsible and learning how to be a young man. Able to conduct myself and carry myself the correct way, able to handle things and resolve issues the right way. So I jumped out there, jumped off the porch, started running with the guys in the neighborhood breaking the law. And it caught up with me. It caught up with me. Between 18 and 19, I caught my first felony. Bad decision, incorrect behavior, incorrect decision making. Caught my second felony at 26. Bad decision making, incorrect thinking, incorrect behavior, right? And those things stifle some of my progress throughout the years unnecessarily. I look back on those circumstances, neither one of those, I could have made better decisions in those circumstances. But I didn't. The world is unforgiving to men. So no matter what my justification was for making them decisions, I'm the one who made them, and I'm the one that had to deal with having 2 felonies on my criminal record. And that excluded me from a number of opportunities. Didn't nobody want to hear my story, man. All they wanted to know was what I was going to do that day. The person I'm meeting that's brand new that met me, he wanted to know what I was going to do that day. Who was I today and who was I going to be tomorrow? And that's what the world want to know from us. It's a harsh truth. And we got to begin correction, King. We got to. This is why we do these shows, and this is why we do the program. We as men were never taught how to lead in most instances. Why? Because even if we were taught leadership to the best of her ability from our mom, the leadership we need come from a man. Hello, the leadership men need come from men. That's why we do the show, right? So one of the harsh truths about being a man is, first of all, nobody taught us how to lead. That's first of all, right? Second of all, nobody coming to save us, but that's a blessing, right? Right? Nobody coming to save you or me, right? This is why I'm here, right? I'm here first to save myself, but now because I figured out how to save myself to the best of my current ability, I'm still getting better. Now, all that I've learned in saving me, now I reflect that mirror back to you. Number 2 on our list, nobody's coming to save us. The moment you realize that no one is coming to save you is the moment that you become unstoppable. Why? Because all bets are off. See, now you're not leaning on the crutch of what if somebody do or don't come. You know they're not coming. So now I know they're not coming. I'm the one who got to come for me. Shout out to 50. Shout out to 50 Cent, man. 50 said one time, 50 said, man, he said, man, I never ran home to get nobody. He said, I ain't never run home to get nobody, man. Who I'm gonna run home and get? Me? Shout out to 50, man, right? The harsh truth is, the second harsh truth is nobody coming to save you, but that's the blessing. Why? Because the moment you realize that nobody is coming, now you become unstoppable. Now you realize that you need to be the person that you would have ran home and got. You need to become the person that you know you need to overcome them challenges and them struggles, man. You need to be the person that you need. Even now in your adulthood, when you're looking back on the youngsters in the game, the youngsters in your neighborhood, the youngsters in your family, your son, your nephew, even your daughter, right? This applies to the young ladies too, right? You the man, so you the teacher, you the instructor, you teach your woman, right? When you realize that nobody coming to save you, now you say, man, what did I need at that point in time in my life? I'm gonna be there for somebody else, right? I'm at work, things ain't going right at the job, the supervisor not acting right, they're not structuring things right, they're not delegating the work right, they're not holding people accountable in the right way. Who do I need to be to reflect to them who I need? We going somewhere, family. You see that? See, everything circles back to you. Everything circles back to me. We can't keep looking around sugarcoating stuff like everybody else is the problem. Nah, ain't nobody else the problem above you not handling the problem the right way. See, it's not that the other people are wrong, it's that you need to be right. Correction, okay? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about correction, the hard truth about being a man and how to correct those things. See, first, in order to overcome addiction, you gotta first admit that you got an addiction. right? You can't overcome addiction if you ain't willing to admit that you're addicted to something, right? So you can't overcome these harsh truths without first acknowledging that the harsh truths exist. Number 3 on our list of the harsh truths about being a man is silence is costing you everything. The emotions that you suppress become behaviors that you can't control. Right? Because if you're watching this right now, you know something is off in your life. Nobody got a perfect life. It might be good, right? It might be great. It might be awesome, right? It might be good enough for you, right? And your level of perfection ain't my level of perfection. And I'm not saying that your life got to be in ruins for you to enjoy the program and for you to see value and understand how you can apply it. No. I said perfection, and I use that word for a reason, right? Because in many instances, perfection is unreachable. So that's something that we all got to continue to work for. This is why we say correction is greater than perfection. Hello, correction is greater than perfection. Why? Because most of us, none of us can be perfect, but we all can be correct. Huh? None of us can be perfect, but we all can be correct. We can be correct in the moment. What's the correct action or reaction in this moment? What's the correct response in this moment, right? What's the correct behavior in this moment? What's the correct temperament in this moment, huh? What's the correct level of courtesy in this moment? What's the correct level of sacrifice in this moment? What's the correct frequency to show up on when I go to this event, right? We can all be correct, even if we all ain't perfect, right? Silence is costing you everything, right? Because what you refuse to address will show up in your work, your woman, your wallet, and your health. What you refuse to address is going to show up one way or another, right? That's the thing about water. Water seeps its level. So if you never address that silent thing that's costing you, then does it mean because I don't call and just talk to everybody about everything. That's just not my style. I don't, you know, some people don't feel like they need to just dump all of this stuff because, you know, I got to get it out to somebody. I mean, it's going to be some times where you do need some people to talk to. But if you ask me, in most instances, you know who you need to talk to? Do you know who you need to talk to in most instances? I already know you're going to say God. Okay, you talk to God first. Who you need to talk to right after you talk to God? You need to talk to you. Hello, shout out to my brother Greg P. P say, look, man, I would rather set me down and straighten myself before somebody else got to do it. Right? I would rather set me down and straighten me before somebody else got to straighten me out, right? The silence is costing you. The silence is costing you correct relationship with your woman, your wallet, which is your money because you're letting your money go too easy, and your health, and the relationships at your job. Right? And the thing is this, it's not that you got to go around saying what's wrong to everybody. No, when you address what's wrong with yourself and your incorrect behavior, now in the way that you minister or talk to everybody else, is actions speak louder than words. See, because I set me down and had to talk with me, now the way I'm governing myself in your presence, you're going to see how I'm talking to you now with my body language and with my behavior. We going somewhere, family. Make sure y'all get your pen out and you take your notes because we're going to leave the lesson up too, but you're going to need to reflect on these notes in your own words. See, the way I say it may not be the way that you interpret it, right? But the information is here to help you get unstuck, to help you get unconfused and still produce results, right? See, when you set you down and talk to you, see now when it's time to address other people that you feel as though may be out of alignment or incorrect, no, your behavior is going to address them. Right? See, you don't always have to verbally go and address people verbally. Now, people got to see what you're saying. Right? Because you can say all of this, but they don't see it, so they don't adjust to what you're saying. But they're going to adjust to what they see. Huh? Your silence is costing you. First of all, you talk to the Lord. Second of all, you talk to yourself. When you talk to yourself and align your behavior in the correct way, now those people that you got an issue with, you allow your behavior to speak to them for you. The fourth thing on our list about the harsh truths about being a man. And look, man, we want to thank everybody first and foremost. Man, we want to thank y'all for supporting the mission and for supporting the campaign thus far. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Manhood Mentor across all social media platforms. We launched the book too, family. We got the Hard Way or the Highway eBook, Breaking Habits to Break Your Bank Account. We're going to drop the QR code. Make sure y'all go get the QR code so that you can get your hands on that copy. Hold on, y'all. And let me try to get the QR code up and running for you. Hold on. Okay. We'll get it for you before the show over with. Right, but we got the Hardway or the Highway ebook. Get your copy of the ebook, Breaking Habits to Break Your Bank Account. We also got the Manhood Map, www.themanhoodmap.com. That website should be scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Grab the Hardway book that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. These are tools to help you achieve correction, right? We want to bring you out of confusion into clarity. That's what this is about. And whatever you're confused of or confused about in your life, always remember that confusion starts and ends with you, right? Confusion starts and ends with you, right? Because I say something to you or somebody else say something to you that may go over your head, right? It's not that they're wrong for having an understanding on the knowledge of how to convey the message. It's that you may be incorrect or out of alignment because you don't understand it. And then even though you don't understand it, you don't go seek alignment or seek clarity and get the information and the knowledge necessary for you to understand. That's what's wrong with that. It's not wrong that the person is talking over your head. No, it's wrong that you're not elevating your level of understanding to receive what's being shared with you, right? Number 4 on our list, family, of the harsh truths about being a man. Being a man isn't about power. It's about precision. Masculinity without discipline is destruction, right? Because you don't use a hammer to cut down a tree and you don't use a saw to bang a nail in the wall. The right tool for the right job, okay? This is where discipline comes in there, having the right tool for the right job. Being a man, you can't run through every wall straight ahead. Some things is gonna require a little more finesse, right? Some things is gonna require a little more caress, right? Caress and finesse. Some things is going to require different tools for different jobs, but it's going to help you become more precise. Precision, right? Real manhood is about assuming responsibility and mastering correction. Y'all know I say that all the time, right? Manhood is about responsibility, right? What are you responsible for that you're taking care of, and who else are you responsible for that you're taking care of also, right? If I walk into a room, if the table flipped over, if the lights knocked down, if trash is on the floor, if the trash can is running over, if the door is off the hinge, and I come in there and see that and sit down, I ain't exercising manhood right now, right? Because every environment is my post. Wherever I'm at, my presence is my post. Hello. Yeah, see, it's certain things that people can't even do in my presence. Why? Because when I'm here, I'm on post. I'm on what kind of post, Jabbar? Manhood. If I see the trash can flipped over, the lights knocked down, the door off the hinge, the table flipped over, it's my duty if I'm in the presence of that environment or that environment is in my presence, it's my duty for me to go straight, stand that trash can up, tie that bag of trash up, sweep them crumbs up, fix the chair, fix the table, and fix the door. If I don't want to do no more work, I leave. Huh? Why? Because I control me. See, I done my duty on my post wherever I was at. If I decide, look, man, it ain't in order right here. It ain't enough things that's in order for me to be around here. Why? Because I know if I stay here, I'm gonna be responsible for what's going on in here. See, that's what you gotta get in your head as a man, right? Your presence is your post. Huh? Your presence is your post. You say, man, that ain't my responsibility. Were you in there? Yeah, I was in there. That's your responsibility. Man, no, it ain't. So-and-so could have did that. If you didn't want it to be your responsibility, you should leave. It's a harsh truth show. Right? It's a harsh truth show. Right? That's just how it is. It's not easy being a man, but it is worth it. A lot of things are going to be your responsibility, even though you wasn't the one who initiated. Just because you in the presence of that thing, it partially becomes your responsibility. So choose wisely where you lend your presence to. And the 5th thing on our list for today, family, look, man, we want to appreciate and thank everybody for tuning into the show. I really hope y'all taking down lessons. I really hope y'all understand the magnitude of what we're doing with this manhood mentor movement, right? I hope y'all really see that, because you can't unsee the truth once you hear it. Once you hear the truth should paint a picture in your mind. See, this show is for the men who ready to lead themselves, and you're ready to lead yourself much better than you have been. And even if you've been leading yourself phenomenally, even if you've been leading yourself in a great way, it's always new levels to leadership. See, that's the great thing about correction. See, correction is ongoing. Huh? See, if we could be perfect, that means that everything has been concluded at the time we got perfect. and the game over at that point. But because correction is ongoing, that means that we'll always be striving and reaching and allowing our ambition to expand and develop itself into a new version of who we call to be. Number 5 on our list, family, and we're gonna get out of here, man. You're not broken. You're just out of alignment. We broke that down for you right at the beginning of the show. When the alignment is off on your car, it affects everything else. You're not broken, you're out of alignment. This is where the manhood map kicks in. We use your personality, your own motivating factors, right? And your own level of emotional intelligence to show you exactly where your habits are sabotaging your outcomes. And we show you how to course correct in real time. Look, click that link that's scrolling down there at the bottom of the screen, www.themanhoodmap.com. Look at the page. If it's for you, you come on in. I really believe it's gonna help a lot of people. Look, don't play yourself, pay yourself. Ain't nobody coming to save us. And the Manhood Mentor, we showing us how to save us. We showing us how to save ourselves. Everything in your life starts and ends with you. This is why we do what we doing. The Hard Way or the Highway ebook is out right now. We dropped that atomic bomb on the family. Go to grabthehardwaybook.com. Hold on, and let me put this up here for y'all too. Let me get this up here for the family, right? Scan that QR code if you can't get to the website. Pick up your copy of the Hard Way or the Highway ebook, Breaking the Habits to Break Your Bank Account. Now, you know if your money ain't right, most times you don't feel good anyway, right? And a big part of what makes men feel good is when we leading ourselves the right way and we got an abundance of anything and we got multiple properties, multiple cars, multiple bank accounts, multiple women, multiple income earning opportunities, we feel like ourselves. Why? Because we have an abundance. And then out of that abundance, we end up giving to other people. Breaking the habits and break your bank account. See, if you don't have your money in order, the money is needed to now accumulate other wealth creating tools or other wealth generating opportunities that now gives you financial abundance so you can spread it around and share with other people. So you start right there, that's tier 1. We're gonna do another show for you guys where we breaking down all of the tiers of the manhood map so that you get a clear understanding of what we're doing. I don't believe you broken. I don't believe you lazy. I believe you just misaligned. And we here to help you fix that. So look, I'm the one who tell you get your mind right, then I tell you get your grind right, then I tell you that you're gonna get your shine right, then I tell you that you're gonna end up in the limelight, family. Until the next time, peace and love. Click that link for the manhood map. Click that link for the Hard Way or the Highway ebook. Until the next time, hello.